Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So, I know today is not Wednesday. Now, I have been on hiatus for a couple weeks as far as doing these official Hasbook review videos. Now, the last time I've done the review, I was working on Series 7 and 8. In the past, I was, let's see, I'd done the first couple of series, and basically I've been working on a couple series at a time, and I think I'm going to start breaking them down to like one series at a time. And I think that's going to make it a little bit easier on the viewers from this point forward. So I know I was saying that I was going to knock out Series 9 and 10 together, and basically Series 11 and whatever was left over, the advertisements, the mailaways, things like that would close out the remainder of the Hasbook. But I'm just going to do one series at a time, and instead of having this 45 to 55 minute video, we're probably going to just do one series and have a 25 to 35 minute video. So that should alleviate some of the time frame on the video. As I said, the last time we looked at this book, we were on Series 8. So, good thing is, Series 9 is one of my favorites. And also, Series 9 also includes Doink. Now, the original design for Doink, I don't know if they're going to show it in here, but the original design for Doink was like this all green Doink before we originally or eventually got this multicolored Doink released in 1993. When was Series 9? No, 1993 was the end of Series 7. So Series 8 was the beginning of Series 4. Was the beginning of 1994. So Series 8 through Series 11 was 1994. So collect them all. And Series 9, Series 9 was also the last set of 6 figures per series. Now, technically, when you look at this, if you want to be realistic about this, Series 9 actually only had 5 figures, with Doink, Jim Duggan, the Steiner Brothers, and the $1 Million Man. But just like you had Tatanka in Series 6, they did release literally the exact same figure that you got in Series 6 in Series 9. The only thing changed, instead of having that blue card Tatanka, you put him on purple card. That's all that they did with that figure. So also, this exact figure with Doink, they actually would have repainted him. I don't think there would have been any change whatsoever to the figure. They probably would have taken that exact same mold and repainted him. And what you got from Mattel Retros back in, I think, 2023, that would have been your exact same paint scheme for your Series 12 orange card, had Hasbro kept the line going. But of course, Hasbro disbanded after Series 11 in 94. Just Toys took over in 1995. And Just Toys was going from, 95 to 2001. And, Jakks Pacific, officially became like your main distributor of wrestling figures in 1996. And Jakks Toys was like all over the place. They had their hands in everything from like 96 to 2001 or something like that. But upgrade all over the place. I mean, Series 9 is absolutely loaded. The only thing that keeps Series 9 from being like right at the very top of being one of the best series, like one of the top 3, top 4 best series, is the numbers. They don't have the numbers to compare to other series. When you look at Series 3, 12 figures, right? to me, I still say Series 3 is the quintessential best series release. Name recognition, it has all of these mega superstars. They got the best figures, play pose, design. As far as value, there's a lot of heavy hitters. The Ultimate Warrior is a heavy hitter. The Brutus Beefcake, the Hulk Hogan. There's just some amazing pieces. Big Boss Man. These are all like, top 10 best figures type of deal. Top 15 best figures. So, but look at what you get in Series 9. Jim Duggan. Jim Duggan, if he's not a top 10 figure, he's probably a top 11, top 12 best. So definitely in the top 15. I think I would probably move him up to the top 10 nowadays. Rick Steiner, I think many people would probably put him in the top 10. Again, if he's not a top 10, he's in the top 15, top 20, most definitely. I still classify Ted DiBiase as one of my, the Series 2 green as my favorite $1 Million Man figure, because that's the one from childhood. But the non-suited $1 Million Man, probably a $60 figure if you got one that's complete with $1 Million emblem on both sides of the trunks, both sides of his boots. So $60 to $75 if he's complete, with all graphics. Today, again, the Rick Steiner, a good $50 to $75 figure by himself. Doink, if he's got all of his fingers, paint job is all good, arms are nice and tight, action works. But he's probably a good $30 to $50. Jim Duggan, $20 by himself. He could get up there to about $40 if he has good paint and everything. If he has an original flag, that figure could go up to about $125. Even a custom flag, you're looking at anywhere between $50 to $100. So it's a valuable piece. Tatanka, depending on who you're buying from, Tatanka is irrelevant. You could pull him off the purple card. You could call him a Series 9. Guess what? Most people are still going to classify him as Series 6. You can literally pull him off a purple card, put in your listing that he is a mint Series 9 figure. People are still going to look at him as a Series 6 figure, and they're going to bid on him as a Series 6. Mint or not, $10 figure. He's not really valuable, not really. So, Scott Steiner, I'd say about a $30 figure if he was mint, but most of the time, he's going to hover around $10 to $15. He usually has some kind of markings on his boots, paint loss, maybe the arms are weak, so. But this is a great series. Top 6 among all 11 series, probably top 5, top 6 best series. All right, Doink. Known for being the Federation's resident prankster. Again, when the original Doink's design, this was like all green. Before they came with this multicolored Doink release. I do prefer this Doink above the Mattel Retro. Not only because of nostalgia, I guess, because it's Hasbro, but the hair, the actual kind of like fur that comes on this figure, as opposed to like the plastic that comes on the Mattel Retro. I hate that. No, I like the actual fur built on. That is amazing. But it is so common to see Doink with broken fingers. It is so hard to find Doink the Clown with all of his fingers present. So most of the time you're going to find 1 or 2 fingers broken. You know how many Doinks I bought that has broken fingers, and it sucks. All right, what do we find about collector notes? The Hasbro Toy Fair catalog, Doink prototype legs were green and white with red stars, and the boots were black with white soles. This was simplified to the all red pants and all black boots seen in the retail release. The leg sculpt of Doink is the same one used for the unreleased Rhythm and Blues Greg Valentine. This is the only figure to have real hair. And then the one for Jim Duggan. Now, what do I always say about Jim Duggan? We always go back to Jim Duggan Series 2, right? And I always say that Jim Duggan Series 2 was a figure from childhood. One of my most played with figures. And because Hasbro is so loaded with great figures, right? Jim Duggan Series 2 is on my list of top 10 worst Hasbros. I make this argument every time I talk about Jim Duggan. Series 2, Jim Duggan, top 10 worst Hasbro. With asterisk, every single time I mention it, not a bad figure. Why is he a top 10 worst figure? One reason only. Simplicity of that Series 2 Hasbro. Black boots, blue knee pads, blue trunks. Like a Greg Valentine LJN. Black boots, black trunks, right? It's a very simple figure. Black knee pads. It's just a very simple, plain figure. So you have all of these figures with these great aesthetic looks, all of this extra detail. So of course the figures that don't have all of that great, additional color scheme to it, you're gonna rate those figures that don't have anything, very low among the Hasbro line. But then you jump to Series 9. You literally have the exact same Jim Duggan figure. What did they do to this Jim Duggan figure? Well, a couple things. Number one, you swap out the 2x4 with the American flag. So you kind of give him an upgraded accessory. I think I still would have liked to have the 2x4 nonetheless, because that's kind of like what Jim Duggan's known for, right? Number two, you swap out the black hair for the blonde hair. Get rid of the blue knee pads. Give him this all-American, color scheme knee pads. Black boots, swap it out, white boots. Give him an actual t-shirt. On the back, American color scheme. So, suddenly, you don't have this plain Jim Duggan. You have this amazing color scheme action figure. So now you take, arguably, outside of Yokozuna, probably the most perfect Hasbro figure that they produced, and give them this amazing color scheme. So yes, once upon a time, I did not put this Jim Duggan on my top 10 list, but today I absolutely would put him in my top 10 if I redid my top 10 listing. And, before I'd probably say number 10, no. I don't think I'd put him at number 10. I'd probably rate him much higher. Number 7, number 3, I don't know. I mean, there are certain characters, like, Yokozuna will always be number 1. I think Bret Hart Series 8 will always be number 2. Ultimate Warrior Series 3, I'd probably always keep at number 3. Black Pants, Shawn Michaels at number 4, maybe. Maybe I'd put him at number 5. Maybe. Undertaker, I'd have to keep on that list. Maybe Series 8 Undertaker. Series 11 Crush, I think would have to be on that list. Atom Bomb, I mean, I think these are just characters that, you have to keep on that. Giant Gonzalez, definitely. So, I think it would be fun to go back and redo that top 10 list at some point. Let's see what it says about his cards and whatnot. A similar U.S. flag accessory was made for the Hasbro G.I. Joe figure. G.I. Joe figure Gung Ho. Though almost identical in appearance, the G.I. Joe flagpole is too wide to fit into Duggan's hand. The torso is a repaint of the Series 3 Sergeant Slaughter. The arms and legs are from the Series 2 Jim Duggan figure. Cool, cool. All right. And of course, when it comes to the Steiners, I mean, I have like this exact, repaint of my LJN Customs, which is so freaking nice. All right. The dog face gremlin. And this is why it's so hard for me to like, kind of give like value of Hasbro sometimes. Like, whenever I'm bidding on the Steiners, because I'm always trying to put together these bundles, right? So I always go out and I'm trying to buy, certain figures for my bundles. Like when I try to buy Rick Steiner, that guy's going for like $50, $60, $70 by himself. When I'm selling the Steiner brother, or when I've sold the Steiner brothers together, I get like less than $50 on auction for the pair. Like I'll probably get like $46, $47 for the pair in excellent condition. Actions work, strong arms, nearly flawless figures. They go for like $46 on auction combined, right? But when you're trying to win Rick Steiner by himself, the figure goes for like $62 by himself, $72 by himself. I'm like, I don't get it. But that's where you're at sometimes. It sucks to be a seller, and you pay a fortune when you're a buyer, and you don't earn anything when you're a seller. We all know this. Look at the little graphics on his singlet. All right. Collector notes. The 94 Hasbro Toy Fair catalog Rick Steiner prototypes. Right boot was white with red trim, while the left boot was red and white. This was simplified to the all red boots seen in the production release. The controller showed the Rick Steiner was originally meant to have a Jim Neidhart torso and Macho Man legs. This was changed to a Greg Valentine torso and Demolition Crush legs. The studs can be felt on the trunks. Cool, cool. And then for Scott Steiner, beware of the Frankensteiner. And of course, when it comes to the teapot arms, this has got to be like one of my, least favorite poses. I mean, other than the Rick Steiner, other than the Ric Flair, Rick Rude 1, 2, 3 kid pose, this has got to be like my second least favorite pose among the Hasbro figures. Mostly because when you look at the arms, I don't like the two different arm lengths when you look at the separation there. All right. The body of Scott Steiner is a repaint of the Series 3 Mr. Perfect figure. The 94 Hasbro Toy Fair catalog prototype was painted in a dark purple. This was changed to the light pink seen in the retail release. Right on. And Tatanka. Alright, so, and whenever I talk about Tatanka, whenever I talk about Series 9 in general, one of the things I always talk about is, Tatanka turning on tag team partner Lex Luger, right? And, oh man, I hate this. You kind of look at Ted DiBiase and his arm separation. Even in the picture, like, it's so apparent, that huge gap in his arm. It's horrible. But, Tatanka, he turns on his tag team partner, Lex Luger, and he joins the $1 Million Corporation. At one point, Tatanka had like probably the second longest undefeated streak in WWF history, I think. Now, who was it? I think Andre the Giant. Now, I don't know if it was proven or not, but like the conversation was like Andre the Giant was like undefeated for like 15 years or something crazy. Like the early 70s up until like the late 80s when obviously during WrestleMania 3 in 87 when Hulk Hogan defeated him. So, 15 years, I mean that accounts for what? 10 years is roughly 3,500 days. So, I mean, that's got to be like 5,000 plus days. 5,000 something. Tatanka, he probably went like a year and a half, almost 2 years, something like that. So he a year and 10 months, a year and 9. He went a long time. So he probably went over 1,000 days. No, not 1,000 days. Was it 2 years? No, because a year and a half, I mean, that would only be about 450 days, 500 days. Let's say, let's say roughly 500 days. Now, it had to be longer. I could have sworn his streak lasted about 500 or 600 days, but that would have put him about 2 years then. Is that accurate? 2 years? No, that can't be right. But eventually he was defeated by Ludwig Borga. And it was kind of like odd that a man that didn't even last in WWF for too long would be the man that would end that streak. But I think Ludwig Borga was going to be like this huge... Where was Ludwig Borga from? Like Finland or something? I think he was supposed to be like this, up and coming superstar. And no, man, Ludwig Borga was like not even a year, I don't think, in WWF. So, but yeah, man, Tatanka was like a mega freaking superstar. And I think he was second only to Andre the Giant in terms of undefeated streaks. I don't know what it was. A year and a half, 2 years, 2.5 years. But he went a long time going undefeated. But anyways, back to Series 9. I think they put Tatanka in Series 9 only because, number one, Series 9 only had 5 figures. And because they only had 5 figures, and for the last 3 series, they had been putting out 6 figures, and the series was so small, they had to get out at least one more character. I think because he had turned and joined the $1 Million Corporation, and because they had $1 Million Man being released for the 3rd time in the line, I think they just thought, hey, Tatanka would have been a good character to put out again. But what was stupid is putting him out and using the exact same figure, man. Like, I'm not even... I mean, you got all these Hulk Hogans and all of these Warriors and all these Macho Mans, Mr. Perfects and Undertakers and Bret Harts, okay? $1 Million Mans, Crushes, Yokozunas, Razor Ramones, Bushwhackers. We're not mad that you re-released Tatanka. I don't think anyone is mad that you re-released Tatanka. I think we're mad that you didn't swap out the body. And if you were going to re-release the exact same body, you could have at least changed the color scheme. Given something different. But no, man, that's what sucks. Now, for those of us who are like, major OCD, like, hey man, we want to get this, we want all of these carded figures, and knowing that we got the same one on blue card, and now we got to get this exact same piece on purple. Nah, man, that hurts. That hurts. But, yeah, man, here he is on purple card now. Yeah, but it's. I mean, I think Tatanka it's a decent figure. I mean, outside of Texas Tornado, I mean, he's only one of 2 figures that actually have dual open arm. So, I mean, that makes him a relatively unique figure in that regard. But in terms of value, I mean, there really isn't much. I think as far as value, this is probably one of the least valuable figures in the entire line. I mean, sometimes you could win this on auction for as little as like $3, man. Let's see. Tatanka is a re-release for Series 9. There are no noticeable changes when compared to the Series 6 figure. Tatanka was a last-minute replacement for the canceled Mega Maniacs Brutus Beefcake figure. The 1994 Hasbro Toy Fair catalog did not show Tatanka as part of the Series 9. And I think I've seen that advertisement as well with Brutus Beefcake for the Mega Maniacs. Yeah, that's in this book. I know I've seen that. And in fact, I think I actually put that up on my community notes once on my YouTube channel for my community page. In fact, I think I may have actually taken it from this booklet where I had the Mega Maniacs Brutus Beefcake. So at some point when we get to all the prototypes and variants, we're going to see that actual advertisement in this book. So that's going to be pretty awesome. But like I said, man, I think it was so much more than... And this says he was replaced because they had a cancellation of the Mega Maniac. I think they chose him because of this guy right here. Because of, his joining the $1 Million Corporation. I think that was a huge reason why he was selected. All right. Excuse me. All right. $1 Million Man. So, $1 Million Man, even if he doesn't have all of his graphics on his knee pads or his trunks, this is always a very valuable figure. So you're always looking at, over $30, probably even, north of $40. Like I said, if he's a minty figure and he's got all of his graphics, dollar signs on all sides, you're looking at $60 to $75 easy for that figure. So it's a good piece to have. The body of Ted DiBiase is a repaint of the Series 5 Hulk Hogan figure. And does it show? I don't know if you can make it out here. Probably not. But there's going to be $1 million. There's going to be a dollar sign right here and on the side of his trunks. And that's going to be on both sides. Yeah. So we're at 29 minutes right now, guys. Series 10 is extra long with 10 figures. So we're not going to do Series 10 today. We're going to save Series 10 for next week. Next week, I should return to Wednesday to do back to regular schedule with Series 10 on Wednesdays, or the Hasbook reviews on Wednesdays. So, unless something comes up, but more than likely, yes. From this point forward, I should start doing my Hasbook reviews every Wednesday until the book is complete. So, Series 10 and 11 to complete that, and we still got mailaways. Looks like Hasbrook Toy Fair catalog, advertising, I'm just kind of going through this real quick. Talking wrestlers, mini wrestlers, official rings. We said mailaways already. And collector's notes. I see symbol wrestlers back there. I see some other bootleg figures, so yeah, so mailaways, I think the rest of that stuff, we should probably get through all the rest of that stuff all in one video as well. So series 10 in one video, series 11 in one video, and then mailaways and advertisements, collector's notes, basically everything else is going to be in one video. So I'm probably looking at about 3 more weeks worth of videos, and that'll take care of the Hasbook. Once that's complete, that'll open up that day for other videos, or leave it open unless I have something else that can fill that day. So guys, as always, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take care everybody.